Hello everyone and welcome to the EVN Disrupt podcast. My name is Nejdet Zaturyan and I'm the editor of the creative tech section here at EVN Report. My guest today was Darbinyan, the founder and CEO of SmartClick and Viral Mango. In the first half of the podcast, we discussed SmartClick's work on AI and how product development is being impacted, but also not really changing that much in the age of foundation models such as GPT. In the second half, we discussed Viral Mango, an influencer marketing business platform. Vrem breaks down the current economy of influencer marketing, why it is so effective, and we even dive into the cultural effects of influencer culture and social media. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Let's start with a little bit of your background. I know you have a long history of serial entrepreneurship, so tell us how you got into the world of entrepreneurship and technology.
If you go back like probably 18 years, 2003, 4, 5, that years, I used to live in Moscow. Just graduated the university with the financial, anti-crisis management. And living in Moscow in that year was very challenging for Armenians because Armenians in Moscow was very decentralized. So there is no central place where you can go meet other fellow Armenians, talk in your own language.
Like the community was
there's not a good community in Russia. It was completely different. We've heard the stories that how the Armenians live in Glendale. They're all in one place. And in Moscow, we don't even have there was only one Armenian store, like Armenian, the central part of the city, where we all buying or lavash or pastırma, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then my friends and I, we decided that we want to build some kind of online community for Armenians so we can meet friends, so meet each other. And
so you're 18 at this point?
Huh?
You're like 18 at this point?
No, I was just graduated university, 21, 22, yes. So we built a community called High Life, an Armenian Life. And then we very quick become very popular among other Armenians who live in Russia. There is not a lot of Armenians from Armenia that time because the internet that time was not very affordable thing in Armenia. We became the number one Armenian platform by the rating. At some point, we were the second or third after the Circle AM. If you remember the Circle AM, there was a counter that shows the top Armenian websites. We're in the top 5 a long time. Yes. And it was at that time, we didn't understand that we built a social community, right? We didn't know. There was no Facebook, no Vkontakte, no Odnoklassniki, this kind of stuff. And I'm looking back, it was technically it was the success and the failure at the same time, because from the startup perspective, we choose a wrong thing, which was the very narrow market, only Armenians, right? And then the Russian Armenians, the Armenians that live in Russia, there was 1 million people or so. And we're thinking back of, we built a social website, a social community. If we spend the same amount of time to building something for Russians, we might have something similar to the Facebook for Russians, exit it, make a lot of money. But at that time, we just want to build something for the community. It was technically my first startup, first understanding of how the things worked. Then after that, it just happened, next one and then another one, then another one.
Before we dive into more of your career, as long as I can remember, there's been talk of how something like what you built needs to exist for the global Armenian network. And even a few years ago, WCIT, there was a lot of noise made about something called High Connect, I think, that was supposed to be this global Armenian social network. From your experience, having built something like this, maybe on a smaller scale, just for the Russian Armenian community, is something like that necessary these days with the advent of large-scale social media?
It's definitely necessary because we are a network nation. We are all over the places. And this is our biggest advantage in the technological world and the startup world. We're talking about this and the business world as well. Because if I can just ping a fellow Armenian lives in the United States that work in a very big corporation, ask for the introduction, it's just one handshake to these people in United States. But we are not there's no place I can find these people, There's, of course, you can go LinkedIn, you can go some kind of databases, look there. But again, it's not a direct connection.
Right.
And this is very important for me. And back then was very important and very important right now, that this can be key ingredient for our Armenian success. Using our network for the leverage to get to the next level.
Are you involved in any of the current initiatives, like at
No, nothing for that, because I'll be honest, all of these kind of initiatives, it need to be financed,
right,
because there is no money involved there. And then you either spend your own personal time and money on building this kind of communities, and you need to have this time and money to invest in this kind of thing, or it need to be sponsored with some kind of big companies that want to invest in this kind of the communities. And due to lack of the time working in other projects, just don't go into this kind of direction.
Right. Unless there's people that are incentivized to be working on it, things like these fall apart very quickly.
Yes.
I think we've learned that lesson many times. So these days, you're known as the founder and CEO of SmartClick and Viral Mango. I think Viral Mango was launched last year.
Yes.
Let's start with SmartClick. Tell us what it is that SmartClick does.
So I was involved with a lot of digital marketing and advertising, this kind of projects back then. And then many years ago, like 6-7 years ago, it came to my attention that, okay, there's a lot of human error and then human labor involved in looking into this advertising, whatever you optimizing your campaigns or trying to squeeze more of the money you spend on the Facebook or the Google. When we decided to build some kind of a company that can deliver this value to the community. Quickest way to do that is using the artificial intelligence, of course. That time I was Googling why it came to my attention that there was a global AI index in the world, and Armenia was not even there. At that time I used to live in the United States, and then I decided to come to Armenia to check what's the status of the AI in Armenia, because I want to build that company that delivering the value from back. I want a back office in Armenia. So I came in Armenia. At that time there was only a handful of people that know what's the data science as well.
What year is this?
2017, 2018, beginning of the 18, end of 17. I was not a lot of specialists in Armenia. Then I definitely decided to open the company in Armenia. And because we're working with advertising, we decided to name it a SmartClick. So every next click that somebody's clicking, it's becoming more and more smart.
Right.
Yes, this is the name behind the SmartClick.
You identified a massive challenge, which was finding people to do the work. Then you decided to open a business in that environment.
Yeah,
Why?
Of course. Was even triple challenging, because at that time that was just starting the boom of the IT companies in Armenia. First of all, finding other specialists in Armenia was very challenging, because everybody's it was hard to hire the people, and it was even challenging the next years as well. Finding the data scientists was very challenging. And then another problem was that I decided to open a company in Armenia. So we didn't have the US company. And when you work with the AI and you work with the data of your users, they don't want to see you other than US company.
Right.
It was very challenging. Yes, it was very challenging for us, because when we started, we were almost there, almost to sign the contract. We're sending them the contract, and it says Ameria Bank, for example. Is this a typo? It's supposed to be Bank of America or something like that. It's no, it's just we're an Armenian company. We lost a lot of customers based on that.
Why not just register a Delaware C Corp?
I have an idea that I want to convert the understanding of the AI instead of artificial intelligence to Armenian intelligence, right? And just to confirm that we have enough manpower, enough understanding and knowledge to build an AI companies based in Armenia. And it took us probably a year to solve this problem. We got the ISO certification, which is certifying the company that you are secure and the data with you is very secure. And we passed that part that nobody's challenging us. Whenever they're asking you are not a US company, and we're show the US company that have ISO certification.
Right.
and it's like a very popular certification. Yes.
Right. So you solved the trust factor by the ISO certification, and you guys have been around for more than 5 years now,
Yes,
I think?
5 years now.
I cut you off when you were going to dive deeper into the product. Tell us exactly the services that SmartClick provides.
So, and then when we dive into the product and then we want to build something for the advertising, there's other business challenges that make us to pivot to other direction. So we end up eventually building the technologies. We want to become the deep tech company that builds the technologies and provides the world with these technologies. So somebody else can actually build their own startup based on our technology. Right now we have like more than 15 different kind of AIs, mainly in computer vision direction, that helps the other companies to build their solution using our technology. So we become the solution provider. So imagine like it's like a chat GPT. When you take it and there's no product behind, you just API call it and then get the answers to your questions.
So you're a model provider.
Yes, our models are just like available in the internet. You just connect with the API to this model, sending the picture or video, and then getting the response of the answers you want to get from it.
When I was looking at the different types of solutions you guys provide, I noticed that they're quite specialized. For example, there's things like helmet detection. So instead of like a generalized object detection model, there's far more specific things like logo detection, helmet detection. And
we build it like a specific type of the detections. And then we're providing this kind of services and helping the companies to build their own product based on this. So for example, when we built the helmet detection you mentioned, we're thinking that the only construction companies or any kind of like startup that doing some kind of safety in construction, they're gonna be our customer. But we eventually had a request, and then we like developed some kind of connection with a Ford that have a subdivision on the scooters, that are renting services for the scooters. They want to make sure that drivers have the helmets on them before they allow them to drive the scooter. So completely different use case, same AI technology behind.
Right. It's like a security check on their user. That's interesting. How do you identify these use cases? Because I think like the average person, if they heard helmet detection, it would be the last thing that comes to their mind for AI. How do you identify which of these niches are valuable in the market?
Technically, we looked for the open niches. So we look to develop the technologies that not cover there, because there's a lot of technologies that already available for the like hundreds of different kind of technologies. So we look the gap, what's there, what's the market on it. Sometimes some technologies we're building based on the whatever we have the data available. So we're gathering some kind of data. We're like, okay, we can build this kind of technology, and then we're building it. Or it's a low-hanging fruit. It's easy to build. We're just quickly building and then just providing that service available in the market right away.
Are you guys doing any data gathering yourself, or are you acquiring it through?
Both. We're gathering the data, we're buying some data, we're collecting, looking for the open sources somewhere, different places.
Yeah, interesting. How big of an R&D team do you guys have now? Like, are most of these models that you guys are implementing?
Technically, not as big as you might think, because most of the time you are spending cleaning up this data other than just building the model. So almost like 70% of the time you are working on the data gathering and then preparing, cleaning, labeling, and this kind of stuff. And then team is like around 10 people all over the different engineers, like labelers and so on.
I'm curious how the role of tech service providers like SmartClick changes in the era of foundation models. So, for example, just about a month ago, Facebook's AI research team released the SAM model, Segment Anything model, which is a fairly massive model as far as computer vision models go for segmentation, which is one of the most popular tasks in computer vision. As the state of the art in AI models moves more and more towards massive data sets and high levels of compute, Where do you see the role of startups like yourself fitting in there? How do you guys compete?
It's becoming very challenging these days to go to the AI direction, because if until like probably 2 years ago, a year ago, to be able to use the AI, for example, to have that in your company, it would cost you a lot of money because the data scientists are pretty expensive team members to hire. And using the AI technology is usually very costly because, again, it was cost the company a lot of money to develop this kind of technologies. But after the ChatGPT, the DALL-E, this kind of generative AI, a lot of like a free open AI from the Facebook and other companies, it's becoming more and more accessible by the small, even the medium companies. So I see like enormous amount of startups that using and the back end the ChatGPT and becoming very successful. And of course, it's competition going up insanely. So for example, if we look a year, 2 years ago, if there was only like, I don't know, a couple hundred startups that doing AI back in days, now 10,000, 20,000. So you are becoming just invisible on all this noise of the startups that popping up in every day. Basically, I'm looking at the product hunt. Every day there's like at least 10 to 15 AI startups, like, the ChatGPT, everything using the same technology on the back end and just solving different problems.
It's even more challenging if you're a model provider, right? Yeah.
Yes, of course. And in one hand, it's some kind of opportunities because more and more people looking in this kind of technologies. But on the other hand, you just getting lost in this, a lot of different kind of startups that popping up every day. This is going to change in a couple of years. It's going to be slow down, like it's because it's a hype right now, AI madness going on. A lot of companies investing crazy money on the AI. So AI spending going to go up. And then as other hype, there's probably something else going to pop up, and then people going to switch the attention to this one. And then it's going to be more, we'll see how it goes back then,
Right.
Who survive at that time. Yes.
Even 18 months ago, people doing AI were largely people who would build the models in-house. Nowadays, if you look at just the Armenian startup ecosystem, almost all companies have integrated some level of generative AI into their products.
Not only Armenian startups.
Yeah, absolutely. Just all over the world.
Startup right now, I'm deep into the startup ecosystem. I know everything about the startups. So a couple of years ago, several years ago, a lot of Armenian startups saying, AI, we're going to do this with AI, we're going to do this with AI. Nobody was having understanding how to do that with the AI. But they're like, okay, we're going to do this with AI because it sounds like promising, and the investors investing money because of that. And then hype went down because investors started asking the questions like, how are you going to build that AI? Do you have the data scientists in team? Do you have the understanding how to build the AI models?
There's also often a question of why do this with AI?
Yeah, of course, then the why, because in the early stage of startup, you don't have enough data to use the AI even. Now the hype is back and everybody's like just plugging in ChatGPT. We do this with the ChatGPT. We do this with the DALL-E or any Midjourney, whatever it is, other AI solutions out there. It's becoming again popular, but now it's more justified. At least you have something, you just don't need to build it. So it's become more mainstream than before. Because if we look at the history of the AI, it seems like AI it's something new, but it's came to life in 1950s, around like 60s, and after that 2 times it went down, like the AI winters, and nobody was, because back in days it was just a research project.
Right.
The governments need to put a lot of money to this kind of AI, and then you need the enormous computers, like to be able to handle this kind of data. And it probably back to till end of 1999, when the Deep Blue won the chess with the Garry Kasparov, the AI, just like a recovering back from the ashes, like it's came back to our lives. But until probably 2010 to 2013, only the big corporation enterprise level companies can afford to do the AI because it costs a lot of money to train the model.
Yeah.
Even now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, every day the ChatGPT is spending like $5 to $10 million on computing power only. There's enormous data that are going back and forth and the asking all this question. That's why you can't just afford this kind of technologies back in your front yard, the backyard. Since 2013, it's become more and more affordable because of the computing power was becoming cheap. And right now, even like kids can take some kind of a small version of the ChatGPT and train in their home computer if they have enough computing power in their computers. Yes.
Right. As a product person, to some, would-be entrepreneurs listening, how do you advise people on what type of products they should pursue with AI and what type of things would be better left? What type of things are more just hype-driven, empty solutions that have AI patching it up?
I'm always saying that the AI, it's just a hammer, right? What to do with this hammer, it's up to you. In some cases, you don't need that hammer. Right? In some cases, you need something more precise, something different. You can't do all your construction using only hammer. You need other tools as well. So it's the same with any kind of product. You need to use AI when only just need it, not just everywhere, just plug in, saying, okay, let's use it AI, let's use it AI. Yeah. In some cases, you don't need it. In some cases, even manual labor is much cheaper and more efficient than just AI. There's a lot of startup I'm talking and they're just like, oh, we want to use this with AI. I'm like, no, don't use it. You don't need it in a couple of years, probably a couple of years you'll need it, but not right now.
Yeah.
You don't have enough data. You're gonna spend more time on fixing the issues that AI gonna cause than you getting the benefits from it.
Right.
Just that's the problem. So again, you need to go from the different perspective. If your product is helping to solve people's problem, right? And then meantime, when you are solving the people's problem, is the AI efficient tool to use it? Is it going to make you like a faster, better, quicker, or something else? If not, don't use it.
Right. The fundamentals of product development don't change regardless of what the technology is at core.
It's just another tool. It's just another tool.
Right. Right.
It's the same way with blockchain technologies. A couple of years ago, we're doing with this blockchain. I'm like, why? Do you need it to use the blockchain, or you can just use just regular database and that's it? No, there's a lot of people saying, okay, we're going to use the blockchain to make sure that everything is correct, nothing changed. But nobody cares about changing. Yeah. If you're solving the problem, you don't need the blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. I recently saw a wallet, like a physical wallet, like just a regular wallet that was branded as an AI wallet. And I spent like 20 minutes trying to understand what was AI about it. But later became out and it's just a marketing tool.
Yeah, it's just a buzzy world right now everybody's using because it brings a lot of attention, investors ready to pay a lot of money if you show the traction. And
let's get to your second full-time job, Viral Mango. What is Viral Mango?
So, since I mentioned that I have many years of experience in digital marketing, at some point I noticed that markets are switching. Back in days, if we look like 20, 30 years back before the digital era, it was like billboards, the radio advertising, the TV advertising later, and then the digital advertising came in. It was a very big hit because you can measure it, comparing to the billboards, for example, right? You don't know which billboard is more efficient than another one. And then digital advertising and the companies like Google and Facebook, they're earning like hundreds of billions of dollars a year on this kind of advertising. But at some point, it starts shifting towards influencer marketing. We start noticing that people became blind to the regular advertising. You look at the Facebook, you already see how to notice like this advertising, you're just skipping, you don't click there. But in the meantime, users, regular people, buying more stuff if somebody is recommending them. Friends, family, somewhere they know, somewhere they trust. And we start noticing that the market is going very fast up. It's like growing 30% year over the year. Even the big influencers like Kim Kardashian, they become the brand at some point.
Themselves, you mean?
Yeah. If a couple of years ago, the Kardashian was charging, I don't know, $1 million or $1.5 million for one post, now she became the brand. She's advertising her own stuff and making even more money out of it. But companies having a big problem working with the influencers because it's challenging to find the right influencer. There's like hundreds of million people out there that are using social media and having a lot of followers. How to find them, how to understand if they are good enough for you, if they are matching to your business, how to work with them, how much they're going to charge you, there's a lot of questions the business asking, because in traditional advertising, you just put money and put some kind of requirements, and a lot of stuff handled by the Facebook or the Google because they're AI algorithms. And then the regular businesses don't have that kind of understanding how the influencer marketing works. And then that's what's came to our attention, that we can solve this problem for the businesses and make them connected with the influencers and have the A to Z collaboration together much easier. So basically, if you want to find the influencer, we can help you. If you want to collaborate with them, we have the solution for that. So we're deep into this creators economy, and we're helping the companies to switch from the old school advertising, the digital advertising, to this new influencer marketing, which works amazing. We see a lot of companies making a crazy amount of money on this one, a viral videos goes to the online. Yes.
I'm really curious about what the data looks like for the effectiveness of influencer marketing. But first, I think for a lot of people, it might be helpful if we just define what we mean when we say influencer. Because now they've almost become categorized, like nano, micro, regular, and mega and macro influencers. So tell us what exactly is an influencer when we talk about it in this context, in the marketing context.
From our perspective, technically, there's a lot of categorization about the influencer, as you mentioned, nano, micro. And when we initially started, we're targeting this nano and micro influencers. Nano, the influencers that have from 1,000 to 10,000 followers, and the micro that from 10,000 to 50 or 100,000, depending on that. But right now, I'm pushing different type of the categorization because the old ones are not working.
Okay.
Right now, even the influencers that have less than 1,000 followers, they're already influencers. There's somebody is listening to them. It doesn't matter what's how many followers do you have. It's still about how many people gonna see based on a percentage of the engagement with your content, right? Because if we take a look at the Kim Kardashian, she have I think 350 million followers right now, but her engagement rate is very, very low. She's posting something and there's only 10,000 likes or comments or something. In the meantime, somebody with 500,000 followers can post something and get the exactly same attention.
Right.
So bigger you're becoming, less people interacting with your content because of the algorithm, because of there's a lot of bots, because of a lot of fake followers and so on. Smaller you are, better, more people see your content, more engaged they are because they know in person you.
There's something more genuine about it.
Yes, more genuine. That's why it doesn't matter how many followers do you have. Of course, there's a certain amount, it need to be not your friends and family, 20 people. But again, it's just all about the engagement rate. And we see 15-20% engagement rate on the smaller influencers than the big ones.
Interesting.
And the old categorizations about celebrity or mega influencers, more than 1 million followers, that they have the more than 1 million followers. Right now, it's not even relevant anymore. The numbers are crazy. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo have 500 million followers. How you categorize that the person? It's just the person, the Ronaldo and the person who have more than 1 million followers. they're technically in the same category. That's why we're pushing a new measurement, how to measure them. And also I have an idea that we need to combine the number of followers across all the platform. Because usually they're saying like, okay, I have like 500 million followers. It's only on Instagram. But we need to say the combined value of the influencing of this person, because they're posting something on Instagram and then they're posting on a Facebook, posting on a Twitter, TikTok, on some different places. And you need to combine all this influencing power together.
Yeah, interesting. Let's talk about the effectiveness of influencer marketing. Before you said it's significantly better than more traditional forms. What do the numbers look like?
It depending on what type of businesses. It's like it's all over the places.
What type of business is
the most popular right now, depending on the platform? Again, in Instagram, it's beauty, lifestyle, Horeca, like the restaurants, food. On a TikTok, it's technically TikTok is not working very good, to be honest.
For influencer marketing?
Yes, because of the probably age of the people that like using day to day the TikTok.
They're too young?
Yes, they're too young. They don't ready to spend a lot of money. So they're doing a lot of hype. So there's different type of actually, let me start from this perspective, different type of the KPIs you want to measure on using the influencer marketing. If you're something new in the market, it just gives you more brand awareness. Because right now, nobody's buying the stuff if they see that first time. They need to see that the same product in several places, several people recommending that. In digital advertising, things like 7 handshakes. You need to see that product 7 times to have a confidence on this product and want to buy it. And influencer marketing giving this opportunity to you, because you can work with a lot of, for example, nano and micro influencers, and then you're just listing your TikTok or Instagram, see, oh, somebody's talking about this product, oh, different person talking about this product, oh, it's becoming very popular, maybe I should take a look what this product is offering. So it starts with the brand awareness, and then the engagement with your product, getting the likes on the comments, and then you can start measuring how the success that comes, and then sales comes in. So it's like a little bit longer process, but gives more value on the amount of money you spend on the advertising, basically.
Tell us more about the platform. How do people use it, and who is it that's using it? Is it both influencers and businesses looking to make the connection?
So we have a different section of the platform. So on one hand, it starts with the brands that want to discover the influencer. So we have a special tool that allows you to go there, put your requirements. So for example, I want influencers that located in Glendale, California. They speak Armenian. The engagement rate is like more than 5%, have like not less than 10,000 followers, etc., etc. And we give you all the list of these influencers. And the next step is you can do the deep analysis on every influencer you find, so you understand what's the percentage of the fake followers they have. It's a very big problem in influencer marketing, because there's a lot of money involved in the marketing. The influencers charging money for the brands to promote. More followers you have, bigger influencer you are, more money you can charge. So a lot of influencers buying fake followers. So our tool allows to deep analyze and see what's the percentage of the male, female, what age they are, how many percent of the followers are fake. After that, our solution, like a platform, allows you to collaborate together. Like it's like a CRM system. You see every step your collaboration with influencers. As a business, you see when to expect the content, when they're going to post it. So we manage all that through the platform. And we also handle the payments as well. So, for example, you pay only us, and then we distribute that money for 10 and 100 different influencers. You don't need to gather the information, do the tax documents, a lot of like more convenient. And also we have the open marketplace as well. When in that case, the business comes, says, oh, here's my product I want to promote. And we have tens of thousands of influencers in our platform from different verticals that applying to your campaign. And then if you like them, again, you see all the deep analysis, everything, and the ratings. If you like them, you just accept them, and then you start working together through our platform as well.
Interesting. So it's a two-sided marketplace. You guys have both the influencers and the businesses that like report. What does an influencer business agreement typically look like? It's based on, I guess, like number of content that they create for the business, or?
There's a two type of service we're offering through the influencing. So one of them, it's called UGC or IGC, like user-generated content / influencer-generated content. Some brands don't want to even be promoted on the social media of these influencers. In that case, it doesn't matter how many followers do you have. You just need to be able to create a good content because as a business, as a company, you need to have social media accounts in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and you need to post some kind of content there every day, every week, like at least 2-3 times a week. To be able to do that, you need to have a marketing team. Somebody to create the content, shoot the videos, edit the videos, combine together, put some kind of hashtags and everything. What we're offering, you just delegate this to these influencers that do this every day, and they're professionals.
Right.
And basically, you pay for the content. They provide you the content, and if you want to, you can tag them, mentioning them, thanking them for the content, or just using social media and then use even for the advertising, because it's just a very good quality
piece
content.
of
Piece of content. And the second part, when the user is influencers generating the content and then posting in their social media. Of course, it's more expensive because they're posting in social media, you getting some kind of attention to your content, and then you can even boost this post and pay some kind of advertising to get more visible of this content. And in some cases, it might go to the viral as well.
Right.
If the content is very good.
Tell us a little bit about your engagement so far, your traction. How's the platform going?
We're growing very fast. And then the tools we're providing right now becoming very, very popular, even more popular than the platform itself, to be honest, because the last tool we're releasing right now, it's a media kit for the influencers. It's like basically LinkedIn for the influencers becoming, because again, there's the hundreds of millions of influencers, and then how the business choose you, not the hundreds or thousands other people applying to them and asking that they want to promote your product, right? So we're helping the influencers to build their basically portfolio, providing a lot of information. It's becoming a media kit that you can share with the brands and become more visible and saying, here I am. Well, this is the type of the content I can create. It's very good. This is the jobs I have done already. This is my resume. Basically, it's becoming like an influencer's resume in the future. Right. And it's becoming very popular that influencers using us to create this kind of page and then share this page with the businesses. So outreach the businesses while helping them as well to get the deals done.
It's interesting. It feels like it's like a maturation point for influencer marketing. Like there was a point 12, 13 years ago when YouTube was starting to become a platform through which people could make a lot of money. And at the beginning, people were taking it less seriously and they really didn't understand what was going on. And then there was a whole suite of tooling and new companies that popped up that helped grow and mature that ecosystem into this massive business, a really business ecosystem. I'm sure it's already happened to an extent with influencer marketing, but hearing about products like Viral Mango makes it more apparent that point has come for influencer marketing as well.
Influencer marketing becoming a full-time job.
Right.
It's not just, like back in days, it was just a fun for some kind of kids, but right now it's becoming a very, very big business.
Right.
Look at the Mr. Beast, I don't know how many hundreds of million followers you have. And it's not even followers, it's a community.
Yeah.
And he can sell whatever he wants. He spends millions of dollars and he earns them tens of millions of dollars, For example, we're doing the research and we discovered that 98% of the middle and high school kids in the United States want to become the influencer when they grow up. 98%. So everyone want to do whatever they like to do, they want to do, and make money out of it, basically.
This is a really bigger and longer conversation, but what do you think about the cultural impact of that? Like, Do you think it's a positive thing that the numbers are that high?
It's what they see, you know.
Right.
When they grow up, they see the influencers. Any kid right now spends of many hours. I don't know, even like average is 7 to 10 hours in social media, TikTok, Instagram, and other places.
Is that a good thing?
It's a very bad thing.
Right.
Yes, because it gives them wrong information about the world.
Mm-hmm. Perception.
Right? Yeah, because when you're becoming the influencer and you are wrong about something, you share that wrongness with other people, and your followers, the kids that trust you, they start repeating after you.
Right.
And it's becoming a disaster, you know. That's the problem. And they see that how these people are successful, because for the kids, 10, 12, 14, 15 years old kids, somebody with 10,000, 20,000 followers, it seems like, wow, there's like a cool person. If the 20,000 followers, people trust this person, I can trust this this influencer as well, which is wrong understanding of the world, how the things work, you know. It's shift of the concept of the who to trust. Sometimes I have this conversation with my kid back in days that she said that she trusts more to the words of the influencer that have 10,000 followers than mine.
Wow.
You know, just because like
that's not what you want to hear as a parent.
This like a 16 years old guys knows what he's talking about because you have 10,000 followers and you're just my father, you know, like, okay, you're old, you have some experience, but I end up opening the TikTok account and getting 75,000 followers to prove that this is a lot of shady stuff going on there. So you don't just trust
the
numbers.
Them? Or
No.
Okay.
I because TikTok using the AI, it was very challenging for me to learn how their AI is working. I learned their algorithms. I understand how how it's working, how it's getting the followers. Right. So I do some kind of tricks. I got
reverse engineering.
Yes. So it's all relevant. So what we need to teach our kids in the future. So don't trust whatever you see in the internet. Just you do your homework, double check everything, triple check everything, all the facts. Even with these AI technologies, you know, even the ChatGPT, everybody is trusting the ChatGPT, or like, oh, it's perfect. But sometimes you ask a question, getting wrong answer, and even these solutions, even like, you know, like confronting you that it's true, giving you the links, like proving you that this is correct, but in the real life, there is nothing like that exists in the world. We need to be careful, blindly trusting all these kind of technologies, influencers, all this, everything in the world. You know,
social media and influencer culture is here to stay, whether we want it or not. One of the most important things we'll have to tackle moving forward is how to reap the positive benefits from it, like things like, you know, brands being able to reach customers for good products in a better way and stuff, but also minimizing the negative effects of it. Like one interesting thing I recently read was that in China, for instance, TikTok filters out content in a way where for young people especially, it's only geared towards like math and science videos. And like, I think there was even a survey done where they said that on Chinese kids, most of them said they want to become like astronauts and physicists and stuff. And then you say in the US, most people want to become influencers. So it really shows the cultural
whatever
impact.
You see, you want to become.
For sure.
Right? Yeah. Back in days, like we see a lot of stuff going on with the space. We want to become the astronauts. Right. Like, you know, we see like the good figures of the police. We want to become the policeman, right? So whatever the kids see, they want to become like that. And then I hope we'll see more regulations about what the people can say in social media. Because social media is becoming same as the TV. You can't say anything you want from the TV as like promoting or advertising.
Right.
There's some kind of regulations for what you can talk, some kind of fact checking or some other stuff. I'm hoping to see some kind of these regulations in the future which might clean up the space. Because right now, a lot of influencers can say anything if you pay them enough. You know?
Right, yeah. It also shows that if the dials are turned up on the positive, then the impact can be good. Yes. This is such an interesting conversation that you're going to have to come back one day and we'll dive deeper into it. But last question, of all the things we spoke about today, in 5 to 10 years, where do you hope to see Viral Mango?
We want to see as a central place where the influencers and the businesses start working together. So it's becoming just like a Google, like you're starting your first search, opening the Google's page, and then you diving into the next stage of your business, Googling something. Want to become something like this for the influencer marketing, providing that if you need something in influencer marketing, something in creators economy, we can help you. We have enough technology, we have enough the solutions and tools out there. And then for the creator's perspective, you can start your working day opening our website and using our tools. From the business perspective, that working with us, you can have a seamless collaboration with any influencers in the world.
Right. I wish you a lot of luck with that. Rem, thank you so much for joining us today for the fun and interesting conversation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.